Good morning. Today I want to share Psalm 18, verse 6, which says, "In my distress I called upon the Lord and cried to my God for help. He heard my voice out of his temple, and my cry for help before him came into his ears." The first thing I think that came to my mind was this amazing reality that God hears us when we call him. Now you may think, because the verse is saying David cried out to the Lord, I always think of that being, a yell or, a really loud voice that you're calling out and crying out to God. And you may think, of course he's going to hear when you're yelling and, and I know that thought has come to my mind, but God gently reminded me today, he hears whether we are loudly calling out to him or whether we're quietly praying, still verbally saying the words, but being more quiet in a normal voice. And he also hears when we are so distraught. Maybe we're crying, maybe we just can't get any words out because we're so distressed. And he hears those thoughts too. He hears it all. So whether we're calling out, crying out, talking in a normal voice, or even just thinking, our God hears us. And you can be such a peace by knowing that he hears you. And the other thing I noticed in this verse, it doesn't say, God heard and answered David. Sometimes God answers fairly quickly in ways that wow, that was amazing. I just prayed to find my keys after I've been looking around the house for hours, and I prayed, and 5 minutes later I found them. Sometimes he answers very quickly. Sometimes we have to wait days, weeks, months, even years. And sometimes we just don't get to see the answer to our prayer. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't be praying, and it doesn't mean he hasn't answered. Maybe he answered in a way that you just didn't put them together, that was an answer to your prayer, because it wasn't what you were praying for. But there's other times he answers in such an amazing way that I've often said I'd rather have his answer than what I was asking or praying for, because his way is so much better. So I just want to encourage you. I know I had an amazing thing happen this week where, I heard God saying something to me and I obeyed, and it legitimately was just hours later that something that I had not even verbalized, but it was on my heart, he answered. Because I had obeyed what he had told me to do, he gave me a desire of my heart. And then a few hours after that, he blessed me in a way that I knew what I did here this morning, he just gave me an upgrade. That's the only way I can explain it. And so I just want to encourage you. If you are calling out to God, crying out to him, or just, maybe so hurt that it's hard for you to come out with words, know that he hears you. He hears your heart. He hears what's in your head. He hears what it comes out of your mouth. And he will answer. So keep being faithful to pray and know he hears me and he will answer me. God bless.